kinds of stuff. TarylFixesAll.com. Pick yourself up something today. And there's your dinner. Pterodactyl here.
And Elk Skins.
And today we're going to talk about this Husqvarna 54-inch riding mower. And we're going to show you what we see a lot happen on these tractors. Some of you grass rats may have seen this too. These brackets on the back here. We're always welding these back on. And as you can tell on this one, it's already starting to tear away from the mower deck. It's cracked here and here. But if you notice, from the factory, look at, this is all the weld they put on it. They put a stitch here and a stitch there. Now when I weld them, I'll lay a big fat bead on here, and then I'll weld it on the inside too. This one's also starting to crack.
It's very hard to see.
It's hard to see, but there's a crack starting right here. Right where the weld had ended. Now when I weld it all the way down to here. But these are weak points. We see this a lot. So if you've got one of these mowers, you may want to check that, look at that. Because I know a lot of people, when they change the blades, they may not pull the deck off. So you'll have to check that. And here's another weak point. This is the rod that goes in the front that this pivots off of. Now here you got a 54-inch mower deck. Look at how big this is. And this is the only thing they got holding it in the front. This is how you can tell this is a cheap tractor. And they drill a hole in this rod and they put a quick pin in here. Or one of those bow tie type pins. Now the only reason for that is so when you go to take the deck off, it makes it easier to take off. So what we do when these come in, I weld up that hole because that's a weak point. That's going to break. We see them break there all the time, especially if they're mowing wet grass and it gets all built up underneath there. It could add over 100 pounds of wet grass underneath one of these mower decks when they get packed up. So something's going to give. Something's going to break. So we weld that up. And then of course this is in for some other stuff too. It needs a belt. And it needs an idler. Sounds good, don't it? Now this is the first time that this tractor's been to our shop. Here's a picture of the mower. It's a Husqvarna YTH 24V54. So she had it to another dealer. She wasn't happy with the service she got there. So she decided to call us up and have us take a look at it. But we looked at the hour meter on it. It's got 482 hours on it. So this mower was manufactured in 2014. So it's 11 years old because it's 2025 right now. And then according to to see 484 hours, right? Is that what it was? 484? Yeah, 482, I'm sorry. 482, and you figure the average homeowner puts about 40 hours a year on there, so we'll divide that by 40, and what do we get? 12 years. So they're mowing a little less than 40 hours a year because this mower is 11 years old. So that's pretty close. So they're pretty right on where they say about 40, 50 hours a year. The average person, not everybody, the average person. So be aware of that before you start to have problems. Now I don't know what the other issues were. I could tell that it's had the upgraded oil pan gasket done to it at some point.
It wouldn't pull itself up on the trailer. The drive belt is shot.
The drive belt's bad.
Yeah, it popped off the transmission, or well, it jumped over the transmission guide.
It didn't take the fan out on the
No,
transmission.
it just popped over the guide, and it wore the belt out.
So we're replacing that belt.
Yeah.
So deck belt, trans belt, some idlers, blades.
Blades are shot.
Just some normal stuff, and then I got to do all that welding on the deck and weld this up to make this stronger.
Then I got to level the deck, raise it up because it was hitting the trailer.
So it wasn't coming up high enough. But, you know, you spend a lot of money on these mowers, and they're still, you know, cheap, because nothing's cheap. Welded up the hole in this link, and then got these all welded up all the way around. Now I'll hit it with some paint before we put it back on. We still got to change the idler and the belt yet. Just thought I'd show you. But look at this one. Now this tractor is from '04. So this is 21 years old. But this is a garden tractor. That's considered more of a riding mower, even though it's got a 54-inch deck.
And they do put bigger tires on the back of these and claim they're garden tractors too. No.
Yeah, they use that same frame on it. And that's those frame kits that we sell. Because they Swiss cheese the crap out of these frames, and that's what makes it weak. So that's another weak point. So we thought we'd let you know, be aware of that. So let's do our little calculation thing again on this one.
All right, let me turn the key on.
And let me know how many hours are on that one.
779.2.
779. So 779 hours, and let's divide that by 40. And look what we got there, about 19 years. Now, this is 21 years old, but this mower had been out of commission before it came in. And we don't know how long, and neither does the guy that owns it, because somebody gave it to him. Gave him this tractor. So it's pretty close, that 40, about 40 hours a year that you put on your mower, because this is at 19, almost 19 and a half years, according to that calculation.
And in the long run, I'd rather have this right over that thing.
Well, yeah, because you can see it's got 2 points in the front where it lifts the deck, and this deck isn't a 54. This is what, a 48?
Yeah, 48.
Yeah, this is a 48.
These DGT 6000s came in 2 different deck sizes, a 48 and a 54.
And it's got adjustable anti-scalp wheels that are, I mean, the other ones are adjustable, but you can adjust these more quickly.
Right, that one's
They got a bolt in there. It should have a pin,
right.
A quick pin. Whereas this mower, you gotta physically unbolt and move these wheels into the different holes if you want to mess with these anti-scalp wheels. But from my experience, from doing this a long time, most people set these in one spot and then that's it. They don't move them. That's another thing we see, right? Where these bust off.
Yep.
Or are bent. You could tell this one's bent.
And then the wheels wear out because these are actually for just scalping. People insist on putting them all the way down to the ground.
And using them as guide wheels. Yeah, you can see this one's bent. Yeah, they're just supposed to help. They're just supposed to touch just to keep from scalping the lawn. But some people will use them as a... I've seen them where they set them as high as they will go because their deck lift doesn't work. Whatever raises and lowers the deck on their mower may be broken, so they use these anti-scalp wheels to measure their cut, their height of cut. They'll just put it in the highest or lowest position and just let the wheels rub on the lawn and cut the grass. Here's another deck where we had to weld these two, but this is on a Craftsman 0 turn, also with a 54-inch deck. and we've had to weld them. But the difference is on this one, see, it's got a hanger where it don't have a single link. It's got a double link on the 0 turn, but yet it still broke these in the back. So and it's still made by that same Electrolux, Husqvarna, whatever you want to call it, AYP, whoever owns that company. Same problem, where they don't weld it very well all the way around. So we had to add some weld to that. But again, a 54-inch deck difference. This one's on a 0 turn, the other one's on a riding mower. This one's waiting on some parts still. But we just thought we'd show you how it's breaking on that one too. So, we just thought we would share that with you, so you can make the decision when you're out looking at tractors, what you're going to buy, little tips and stuff to look for.
Yeah, and me personally, I would rather put the money into this rather than owning that.
Yeah, well, nobody cares about your opinion. We're just joking. All right, follow us.
With your junk Husqvarnas.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Come on, follow.
You're following too close. Back off a little.
Oh, I'm into the mower.
Check out our web store. Maybe there's something there you might want or need. Like this mower medic. You can be the mower medic of your town or your neighborhood or wherever you're at. Spark plug necklace, this hat. There's something there for you. Look at the hat he's wearing. We got these. It's cold out today, ain't it?
Yeah.
Is that hat keeping you warm?
Yep.
Good. And as always, there's your dinner.
Woo!
Woo! Sharing information on stuff we see.